fun begins.
Just get those wonderful toys.
Welcome to the party, pal!
Hello, hello. How is everybody doing tonight? Welcome to the 118 3.75 Toy Talk. I am your host for the evening, Diehard 3.75. Good to see you guys out there. Thanks for coming by. Got a good show for you tonight. A lot of news. I had to chop it up. I had to kind of filter it out just so I could understand it all and present it to you guys. But we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. Welcome if you're new here. I am Diehard 3.75. I'm an action figure collector of the 118 3.75 inch action figure scale. World building, army building, hauls, collection showcases, and a little bit of overviews as well. If you're new here, welcome. Thank you for coming. So before we get down to business, let's take a look at the chat here. Thank you guys for coming. I can see there's a lot of comments already. Bjorn, welcome Bjorn. Bjorn and Ian, Mudhorn Station. Shmebulok, Mahana. Welcome. Looks like you guys are talking. Mostly Star Wars books centered around Han Solo. You've been reading, okay. Good, I've been reading a lot lately. Cool. Lost Stars. Looking for the cheapest price on the Aftermath trilogy. Yeah, I've not read the Aftermath trilogy. Currently looking for the first book in the Han Solo trilogy. Yeah, I read a Han Solo trilogy a long time ago. Back in the day, before the Disney takeover. McDowin, whoa, gonna make another live stream. McDowin, welcome to the channel. McDowin 118. Welcome. I saw you on the hub with some of the new Eagle Force stuff. I haven't been able to see if you've made a video yet on it. I kind of accidentally created a new sort of Stormtrooper. Cool. Yeah, post a photo. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of your painting and customs. Jabalong Jeff, welcome. Jabalong in Toy City, welcome. Good friend of the channel. Beta Ray Bob, hello. Trying to run through here. Ben, That Damn Figure Show. Thanks for coming by. We haven't talked in a while. Glad you made it. Very good to see you out there. At least one part of the news. Stanley's Toy Room. How are you doing, Stanley? Jason Jensen Trains. Hello, Jason. Welcome. Starboy, how you doing? Good to see you out there. And Brian, Outer Multiverse. Howdy, wow, we got a full house tonight. Thank you guys for all stopping by. MCR, Mr. Sentinel, how are you doing? He is the mod with the most. And Bjorn, welcome Bjorn. All right, guys, so really good show. Thank you guys for coming out. Looks like we got a nice big crowd tonight. Thank you. So tons of news, guys, tons of news. So I broke it up. I kind of split it up into like 5 categories. Hopefully it'll flow and I can get out my thoughts and hear everything that you guys have to say. But before we get into it, like we always do, just want to talk a little bit about the channel the last 2 weeks. I was able to get out 3 videos. I almost hit my sweet spot. I like to do about 2 videos a week, but I got 3. I hit 3. We did a Boss Fight Studio, the Berzagi figure. We did the Vintage Collection, The Stranger, and I did the Hiya Toys Crimson Twins, Tomax, and Zaymot. So I got 3 videos out, 3 different lines, and I guess 3 different genres, kind of, right? I guess G.I. Joe's kind of sci-fi, but it's kind of military too. So we had the Berzagi Boss Fight Fantasy, the TVC sci-fi, and then we looked at some of the Hiya GI Joes. The next 2 weeks, I'm getting really busy, guys. We decided to redo my son's room. So I've got taken on a project here, like a spring kind of summer project, and I've got some work to do in there. So I do have one video kind of already thought out. It's going to be a vehicle, so I'm not going to spoil it for you now, but I am going to try to do a vehicle um, video overview. They're always a little bit difficult for me to do because of the space that I have, but I can say that that's probably going to be the next video. Tech49, yo, 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 what's up? Thanks for coming. I'll stay as long as my internet connection allows. Okay, yeah. Some weather. You're having some weather over there, aren't you? I think the East Coast is kind of Midwest is kind of feeling some cold. We've been really, really rainy over here. In fact, a lot of snow in the mountains, tons of snow, but mostly rain where I'm at. But the last 2 days, fairly nice, but it's been cold. It's been cold. I'm ready for spring. I'm ready for spring. But yeah, I hope you can stick it out, Bjorn. It's going to be a good show here. I've got a lot of stuff, man. So before we get to the news, let me explain kind of how I split it up. Tech, you might like this. I took out all the O-ring stuff, guys. There was so much O-ring stuff, and I thought Wilhelm and Bob, they did a great job of talking about some of the O-ring stuff last week. I was in and out of their show today and Audi's show as well. But I took out the O-ring stuff. There was enough O-ring stuff to do a show on O-rings, I think. But I took that out, and we're going to talk modern 118.375 tonight. There was so much, I could have, one show could be modern, one show could be O-ring. I took the O-ring stuff out. I'm more of a modern collector. I think most of you are, though a lot of us, again, like myself, we dabble in O-rings, maybe a lot. But I did kind of pull out the O-rings. I almost created a second slideshow and said, well, we'll do a round two tonight. We'll do a round two. But I thought, you know what? We're going to be up too late. It's going to go on and on. So maybe next time. Just crap internet at the new apartment. Oh, yeah, that's right. You moved. It's snowing heavy over here. Okay. Stay warm, Macdown. No. Oh, yeah, I like O-rings, but there was so much news this time, McDowell. There was so much news from the Toy Fair and just so much. I had to split it up, and I looked at it, and I was like, this is going to be like 150 slides. I can't do that. I can't. You guys won't hang out that long. I don't want to impose. No O-rings. Yeah, no O-rings tonight. All modern. But there's a lot. So let's get right to it. Let's take the conversation to the next. So, all right, let's see. I think the screen, is this going to work for me? I'm looking at on my end. Looks okay on your end. Yeah, I think we're going to, okay, we'll try it right here. So I think we're all probably aware of this. This was probably, there was a lot of news, guys, right? Even for the modern. This was probably the biggest news, wasn't it? I think I like affordable 118.375 O-ring modern, yet matters not. Yeah, I know. I think I'm more in that boat myself, Ian. But for the sake of the show, I had to close the window a little bit. I once watched a 4-hour unboxing stream. I would have stayed for a while. All right. Well, this is still going to be long. This is still going to be wrong. All right, I'm out. No, don't leave, McDowell. Don't leave. Not yet. I still think this is going to be long. This is probably still, again, like last show, this is the most slides I think I've ever put together. So hopefully we can get through it. Hopefully I can get all my thoughts out. Okay, so Battlestar Galactica Factory Entertainment, the pre-order went up. We finally got to see the Boomer. We got to see the offering, and it sounds like it went really well. I pre-ordered the 4 set from BBTS. They're pricey AF. Hey, Pirates. Yes, Pirates. Hello, if I missed you earlier. Those are expensive for what they are. $30 figs with minimum accessories. The price stopped me from getting these guys. Yeah, so we had on the Factory Entertainment site, they were selling the full set for $150. You're right, about $30 a figure. I did pre-order the set. it's one of those things where, you're taking a chance. We're talking about a new company that's not really done figures before, at least at this scale. Um, you're taking a chance. We're taking a chance, but you kind of, I feel like I kind of have to back it and put my money where my mouth is. Been wanting something like this for a long time, and it sounds like the sales were good, and they were listening to social media. I did chat with Jabalong in Toy City a couple times about this, and he sent me down a couple paths that we're going to touch on here. Um, it sounds like it was a successful pre-order for them. Um, they must have been reading the social media. I saw a lot of people upset that they weren't offering the Cylon as a separate figure, like Army Builder. They corrected course with that. I wasn't aware that they were also available on Big Bad until Jeff told me. um, I thought you had to go through Factory Entertainment, so that's where I placed my order. And I would have loved to Army build them. I saw a lot of people mad on the Premium 118 hub. That why are they all together? Maybe I just want Starbuck. Maybe I just want Apollo or Boomer. Or I just want one Cylon. Um, it sounded like they were reading the comments and they kind of adjusted course, and they did start to. It looks like there was some available at other places. Sorry, I'm talking. I'm not reading the chat here. Um, what's going on, chat? Audi. I'm excited about the Battlestar. I'm in for the figures. Tempted by the ship. I just wanted one to mess with, but not really at $30. Yeah. They seem to be a lot cheaper over here. Really, they knew they'd sell. Yeah, it sounds like they did. Yeah, where can you buy from BSG? Oh, where can you buy the BSG, Ian? I did hear their European UK distribution. Oh, really? Star Action figures. Okay, so yeah, we finally got to see them, and we got to see how they're packaging them and offering them. Nice collector friendly packaging. These are nice boxes. Man, it's hard to throw away collector friendly packaging, but I'm at a point in my collecting where I've been doing that more and more lately. I mentioned to you guys last week or last show, I am getting rid of most of my Boss Fight Studio collector friendly stuff and a lot of my Joy Toy collector friendly stuff, the packaging because of the space. It's nice that they do this though, for the collector that wants to keep it in the package or the one that wants to put it back in there. We could see that the 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 pilots, we'll call them the pilots, they come with the helmet. I think they're calling this the computer blaster, um, and that's about it. They are a little bit slim, I think, for $30, but I'm guessing it's like smaller wave, or this is their first time. Um, and I looked on their website. I started looking around. They don't really sell cheap stuff. I think the cheapest stuff I saw in there were like keychains, and they were like $18 keychains. Even the keychains were like $20 almost. There's nothing really on their site that's cheap. So I guess to them, $30 is within range. I don't know how they come up with that number. Um, but the figures, again, it's kind of taking a chance. We don't know the quality of the figures yet. We don't know a lot. There's a lot of unknown here. But what we do know is, we like these, we want these, but are we willing to, fork out the dough, and make it happen? So there we go. This was the 5-pack on the Factory Entertainment site. Apparently on Big Bad, it's a 4-pack, and the Viper comes with Boomer. Where on the website, the Factory Entertainment website, there is no figure with the Viper. Here is the 3-pack that they sort of corrected course with, and I thought this was so funny. I'm wondering, and it says very specifically these were compatible with your vintage collection, with your Star Wars. Um, I'm guessing maybe they're making them in the same exact factory. I don't know this, but I've heard other guys, Kickstarter guys say, there's only like 6 factories or this number of factories in China that do this stuff. So you have to get in line. It's really important to get in line when they make these figures, because if you miss your opportunity, you might have to wait another go round and get back in line. But it looks like from this box, And I know there's some historical reference to this box from the past, but it's just exactly like what the Hasbro's offering with their troop builders. But I will say this: there's only 3 guys in this box. The Star Wars ones, there's 4, and the Star Wars ones, I think they're 75. So you get one more figure, and it's $5 less. Go figure. Go figure. Like literally, go figure. Let's see. Let me jump in here. I'm sorry. I'm talking. BBTS had individuals, but they sold out. They did. I think the silver one's still up. It was earlier today. 118 shouldn't be more than 20 max. Hey Tone, long time no see. Yeah, it is. It has been a long time. Yeah. Lecrochine. I forgot how to say that, but yeah, Lecrochine. It has been a long time. You haven't commented in a while. Glad you made it. Don't look up Acid Rain then. Yeah, don't look up Acid Rain. Yeah, I know. 40. That's at least $40 a pop. I wish for us Canadians even more. I wonder if they'll do a 3-pack of the gold Cylon. Yeah, that's the one they didn't offer single, right? On Big Bad. That was the only one they didn't offer as a single. I know the Canadian prices are more outrageous. It should be 2 silver and 1 gold. Yeah, Pirates, that's a good call. I didn't think about that. It should be, right? They're holding back on that gold one for some reason. I'm concerned with the height. I want these to line up with modern 118, not the short Star Wars. Yeah, that's a good point, McDowell. It sounds like these are more 375 though. I think they are going to be on the short end of 118. Can't compare Hasbro with a small company like Factory Entertainment. Hasbro has the scale to do cheaper. Yeah, I'm just pointing it out. I bet I was going to say I bet you, but I don't want to bet. But I'm guessing these are from the same factory that the Hasbro's using. Agreed, unless it's Joy Toy, TMNT, King of Fighters, Warhammer, and Acid Rain. Yeah, it's tough. I didn't get this 3-pack. I bought the pack on Factory Entertainment, or I pre-ordered it, and then when Jeff let me know that they're selling singles on Big Bad, and that the silver one was back up, or that they were back up, I went there and pre-ordered from Big Bad a couple of the silver ones over there. So I'm in both boats now. I got a few with Big Bad, and I've got some with Factory Entertainment, and I think I'm done. I'm worried, I'm worried, that they're not going to be good. We'll see. There was some good news though. Jeff again pointed this out to me. I can't remember the podcast that you mentioned, Jeff, but they talked a little bit about because of the success of this first wave, they're already planning a second wave. And you can chime in on their social media about which figures you'd like to see. So we'll get to that. But first we'll go to the Viper here. Viper looks really good. I just grabbed a few photos. The cockpit here. It looks like the cockpit lights up. Looks like it's got lights and sounds. It looks like actually like 3 colors here in the back: white, dark, we'll call that dark blue, and a light blue. There is the light up in the cockpit. And then I was reading these numbers. It's kind of, or these words here on the controller, and it does say something. It says laser fire, repeat fire, cruising, turbo, boost, and launch. So there is, quite a few sound effects with this thing. I know it's always been one of the problems with the HasLab. Some people really want sound effects. I've never been a big sound effects person, but I think at the price that they're asking for this, and it is a single ship, good. I mean, you choose to use it or not, but it's good. It's there. Let me jump back in the comments here. Agreed, unless it's Joy Toy. Big Bad does have the gold Cylon as a single, but it's sold out. Okay, maybe they'll have it more later. They look like the same articulation as Eagle Force, but with Eagle Force, you get more. That's true. You get a lot with Eagle Force, don't you? I ordered a single silver Cylon to go with my BBTS set. Cool. The ship looks really nice. Welcome, Pinker. Yes, it does. The ship does look really nice. I'm on the fence with it. I haven't pre-ordered it, but I am tempted. I want it, but can I pay for it? It looked like they weren't going to be ready until maybe November, December. So there's a lot of time. but they do like that deposit, which I don't think the deposit's refundable. I could be wrong about that if someone knows. So I thought if I was going to get it, I'll just wait a little bit longer and then I'll make the deposit. I think it was a $50 deposit, I think. Yeah, not a sound effect peep either. Just make the sounds myself. Yeah, me too. That's what I've always done. That's what I've done all my life. The ship will be top notch, high end replicas. Yeah, that's a good point. From everything, it looks like the ship is more up their alley than figures, and that's probably why it's got all this fancy electronics and stuff. Because we don't see this kind of stuff from Hasbro or really anyone. Can't think of the last vehicle I got that had lights and sounds. I can't. Maybe the Millennium Falcon. Maybe that was the last one. The deposit isn't refundable. Yeah, so see, there you go. Speaking of Eagle Force, they should be coming soon. Yes, they should. Yes, they should. You are correct. You are correct. The pass on the Viper, it's too pricey. Yeah. Deposit isn't refundable. I never buy ships, but I'm tempted to. This is the Viper we wanted. We never got as kids. That's true. That's true. It looks like it comes with a flight stand and landing gear. I think I read that these landing gear, the plug and play, take them out, plug them back in. So these lower doors probably close up. And this guy here, Jeff mentioned that this guy actually, I think he actually talked to Factory Entertainment. I'm sure you guys are aware of this guy. I have seen his stuff before, but he seems to have the ear of Factory Entertainment. He mentioned in his video about that second wave, and that if you have ideas for figures, leave them in the comment of his video because they're reading them, or message them or email them on the website. I dropped a message in one of their posts on Instagram, but this guy's out there if you're interested. He's got a lot of good info. His whole channel is dedicated to Battlestar Galactica. Sure you know about him, maybe you don't, but he's out there. Seems like he's really knowledgeable, in particular about the history of the Battlestar Galactica, the show, the line, the past toys, everything. So I want to give him his credit. I'm sorry, I lost here. Hi, aliens. APC has many lights. Oh, there you go. Yeah. I never got that one. Some ships from the Lightyear had sounds. Okay. We had about to bombard them. Yeah. Fisher Price Alpha Probe has lights and sounds. There you go. I know. It's funny how some of them can do it and other ones act like it's such a struggle. It's weird. I've never been a big lights and sounds, so if it has it, okay, I probably won't use it. But it's fun when you show it off to someone who doesn't collect and go, oh, look, and you push the button. But since we're talking about figures we'd like to see, I would love to see her. Always had a big crush on her. Looks a lot like my wife, my beautiful wife. This is Serena, played by Jane Seymour. Always had a crush on her as a kid. And when she was in Dr. Quinn, Mighty Medicine Woman, I think she was a Bond girl as well. Always loved this chick. Would love to see her. They mentioned something about a female buck in his video, I think, of the Collectica. He mentioned something about them working on a female buck. Just like the male bucks, they're pretty much, it's just a portrait that you got to change, right? So I think this is probably a good chance of this one getting made. Yes, I do like her. This is like the Princess Leia look. I ended up, they used to play the movie. They used to chop it up, and I used to see it. I probably saw it more than the other episodes because they would played it a lot more in the reruns and stuff. But she had a lot of looks. I'm thinking they'll probably do her this way, just like they did the pilots, and then they'll swap it with the other ladies that also, just like they did with Boomer, just like with Apollo, just like with Starbuck. They need to come with a Sheba and other female. That yeah, that's what I'm just saying now too, as a figure. Or yeah, no, I really like this girl here. Electronic features raises the cost tremendously. That's true, and that's a good point, Tech. I if it raises it so much, I'd rather have it without it to knock off $100, you know, or 50, even $50, $20, whatever it is. I'd rather just do without it if it lower the price. Pinker says, "Oh, she was solitaire and live and let die." Okay, yeah, that's what it was. That's her character name. Yeah, I know nothing about Battlestar, but I don't think we had that in Mexico. Okay, give me a female buck, Starbuck. There you go. Yeah, so I've always really liked this girl. Um, yeah, so I'd like to see her. Um, love this guy. You know, I remember. I don't know if you guys remember. A couple of years ago, I picked up the old one. It's got a broken tail though. The Daggett. What was his name? Muffet. I'd like to see him do Muffet. I think this figure would sell. This was like the cutest part of the show. Every kid wanted a robot dog when you watch this show. So I think I'd like to see this. I know it's chances are a little bit less. I remember there was episodes with other little dogs in it. Um, so maybe there's a chance. Maybe there's a chance. Um, she died. Yeah, I believe so. Spoiler, I do. Yeah. I'm interested in 3475 females, as long as they're bigger than the tiny Star Wars figures. Yeah, and I'm guessing they're gonna be. I don't know. I think they're gonna be about the same size. Um, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, yeah. Those TVC females look like teenagers. Yeah. For the third figure, I think we kind of need this one. This was the one of the bad guys. I think that his name was Lucifer in the show. He has like an IL number, IL 17 or IL 11 or something. But these guys were always really weird. Um, but I think there was multiples of them. Like to see this one in there too. We need a leader for the Cylons, just like we need a leader for the good guys as well. So I just pulled three out. I think these are probably the two I want the most. But I would take a bad guy if if they're taking names. I throw this one in there. Would be interested in getting it. The Muffet figure was so good. The figure holds up still. It does. Yeah. Yeah. If anyone's interested in watching the show. Oh, I didn't know it's on Prime. I've got Prime. I didn't know that. Maybe I can get the wife to help watch it with me. I hope we get the old guys. Adama, Ty. Yeah. Those blue uniforms were cool too. Yeah. Lucifer. Yeah. The dog was played by a chimpanzee. Really? Didn't know that. Nita Baltar. Yeah. Baltar. Yeah. I have a Muffet. Like to see an articulated one. Yeah, this guy's pretty much 5 points. But the sculpt, I think the sculpt holds up. And I think a kid would still like this one. Just got a broken tail on him. I got this just for a couple bucks too. Can't remember. I'd have to go back and watch my own show. But yeah. So yeah, drop. I guess in that video, Battlestar Galactica. If you go to that video. If you leave it in the comments, sounds like they're watching his video, their Instagram. They've got places where you can put in, who you want to see. Sounds like that they're very receptive and they're not playing coy about. They're looking at the social media and they're like, hey, we heard you guys, talking about the army builders. Here's an army builder. So I think there is a good chance that if you put something out there, they'll at least read it. A lot of times when you do stuff on Mr. Stevie's account or with some of the bigger, companies, they get thousands and thousands of comments and you wonder, did anybody even read yours? I think there's a good chance that if you do this one that, someone will see it. And they'll at least aggregate it and say, hey man, we got a lot of people saying Lucifer, we got a lot of people saying, Muffet. Considering what the company does, the Cylon Raiders, yeah, it does. Seems like that would be the next wave, right? Like 4 more figures, or I guess 5 more figures and another ship. That would be if they're they're keeping apples to apples. Factory Entertainment is active on socials and seems yeah, right. No, you're right, Jeff. Yeah. So let's see. We're gonna stay with Factory Entertainment. So I saw this on the hub, and then good friend Jason. I'm not sure he's here tonight. Messaged me on Instagram and said, hey, did you see this? And I did. I said, we're going to talk about it on the show on Sunday. I hope you can come by and hang out. I'm not sure he made it though, but Factory Entertainment looks like they're going to be doing a Star Trek OG bridge replica. This guy here, Rick Elsop, I think he has a channel as well, where he talks about action figures just like we do here. A little bit bigger channel than mine. I think when I went over to it to look at it, I think he had like 2,000 subscribers. He's pretty active here on the hub. He was the first one that I saw talking about this. And then later, I saw this guy, Heroes and Villains. I'm not sure. I'm guessing this is a different person on the hub. But I want to give them credit. That's where I first saw this. Cylon Raiders hold 3 Cylons. Yeah, it does. Oh, crap. That could be cool. Yeah. This looks good. That's going to be pricey. Wow. 118. Yeah. According to this guy, Rick, he's saying it is 118 scale. And my buddy Jason, shout out Jason if you're out there. So yeah, see text saying 112. It's kind of weird because in this, and maybe it's a typo, he says the Star Trek original series 118 scale bridge replica coming in 27. But then at the last sentence here, he says will be the same size scale as the nacelle bridge. Nacelle, which is bigger figures. The thing though, I always say is you can go up, right? 118 will fit in 112. So, it's a playset, it's a diorama. Your guy's going to sit in the chair just fine. He might be a little big in the chair or a little small in the chair, but they'll still fit. And so I'm kind of going off of the fact that he said it's 118, but it could be 112. This is a nice centerpiece. Maybe the Haya Star Trek stuff would fit in there. I noticed they don't have any chairs in here. Just the captain's chair. But again, it looks like Lights and Sounds. It looks big, especially if it's 112, right? It's going to be really big. I like it. You can see here from the back, the monitors. It looks like they do have some backgrounds. All the numbers, all the colors on the boards here. Looks pretty cool. Again, like you said, pricey. I don't have, I mentioned it earlier. I didn't see anything on Factory Entertainment's website that was cheap. They just don't do it. It's probably not worth it to them. They're a small company. Like I said, their keychains were $20. Keychain, it was $20, but they're paying for the license. I'm sure there's things behind it. But I would imagine if the Viper was $250, that this thing's probably like $400. I don't know. I'm guessing, but it looks really nice. I don't have room for something this big, I think, anymore. Space is a commodity that I no longer have. But it looks nice. No, Rick Elsop is Heroes. That's what I thought. Yeah, that's what I thought. He's out of Canada. Yeah, I think his YouTube channel's the Heroes one, right? But on Facebook, maybe he has 2 Facebooks, one for the channel and one for his real name. No chairs. Yeah, I saw that too. I guess they're trying to make it look more spacious. Yeah. The downside is that Factory and it hasn't started on wave 2 yet. Then it probably won't be 2 years away. That's true. That's a good point. Yeah, because it did say like, I think November, December, which is pretty much next year, Nacelle's 110. There you go. So it's even bigger. Highest taller than True 118. Yeah, there you go. So it might fit, right? Yeah. I do it all the time. The extreme sets. Yeah. Yeah, you can always go up, right? But you can't go down. Those 112 guys, they're not going to they can't put their Joes in an old school vehicle. Oh, it's true. It will be 118. I thought it was Nacelle one. We're speculating. I should have put this in my speculation, my rumor mill, but I wanted to keep the Factory Entertainment stuff kind of together. The Nacelle set's modular. Yeah, this thing looks like, I'm guessing it's, so you know, you can see like it looks maybe some screws or some panels here in the back to get the batteries in there. Maybe it's a USB charge. That seems like most stuff's USB charge now. Um, one or the other, but mostly USB now. So, you know, it probably splits in a couple places, right? Otherwise, that's just a big round. You need a really nice round table or something to put that on. It's not going to fit on a shelf so much, right? I mean, it could, but it looks nice. It looks really nice. Thought this photo was really cool. Um, you know, if you go to Red Alert, do you swap out these panels here and put red in there, or does it change to red? Does there a light in there that changes to red? I was thinking about that. I'm looking at that. I was like, where's the Red Alert? You got to go to Red Alert. Shields up, you know? It'd be cool. I'm sorry. It'd be cool if Factory Entertainment gets more into 118. People already asking to do Buck Rogers. I saw that. Yeah, I saw that too. The new apartment small, no real space for that. Yeah, I don't have any for my house either. Oh, okay. Uh, sorry, my wife was giving me a hand sign there. Don't give me Buck Rogers hope. Factory does well. I know. I almost bought the DVD collection for Buck Rogers. It's in one of my baskets in my Amazon, but I haven't been able to pull the trigger on it. Yeah, I'd like to do Buck Rogers. Ship would be cool. D. Yep, Jabba. All right. So that was Factory Entertainment. Um, hopefully it's 118. Maybe it's 110. All right, let's switch over to Joy Toy. So the next couple things I want to talk about are all Joy Toy. So I think this was a pretty big announcement. This was a pretty big announcement. I never played this game. I knew of it, and people would tell me you should play this game, but I never got into it. Excuse me. Joy Toy announced that they're going to be doing StarCraft figures. Um, This collaboration is a significant milestone for us within the compact size of approximately 10 centimeters. I was glad that I saw they put 10 centimeters there because we know, I think, with the King of Fighters, they're not really 118. I'm hoping, you know, it's hard to tell. You know, they still, I point that out all the time. It still says 118 on the King of Fighters boxes, but they're definitely not 118. And I saw this as a common, and I'll bring this up in the next slide here. Um, the turtle stuff has been getting bigger too, but the characters that they've been doing call for them to be bigger, but they just don't seem to be doing any of. And the Warhammer stuff's big, right? They don't seem to be doing the smaller, like the true 118, the army guys, the Jang Hu stuff, the army builders. They haven't seen any like real 118 stuff in a while from them, but it sounds like this will be 118, 10 centimeters, right? Isn't it 10 and a half? Who can do the conversion? I think it's 10 and a half, right? It's 4.25 inches or something like that. So hopefully that's what this is. Another sci-fi line. Sounds good, right? Sounds good. A new sci-fi line. Joy Toy. So it's going to have that Joy Toy pop and swap interoperability. This is big news. This is good news. They're not doing Corvus Belli anymore, but now they're going to do StarCraft. This is good news for us as 118 collectors. Joy Toy, please get the Alien and Predator IP. I know, get it back, get it back. Or no, that was Haya, right? Haya had the those StarCraft stuff. Has me intrigued. Never played the game. Yeah, me either. It's gonna be awesome if it's true 118. Yeah, that's the question, right? That's kind of the. I don't believe them now, kind of, right? You got me going down that route. I almost don't believe them now until I see it. But even then, they lie on the box. I don't say lie, you know, I guess it's a lie. I don't know. Looking forward to seeing those figures. Never played the game, but the character design. Yeah, I did look up the character designs too, because they actually name a few of them here. Zerg, the Terran power armor, the Protoss. So I looked them up, and they did look really cool designs. It looks like there's some they would go with your Warhammer stuff or your Star Wars stuff, even the Battlestar Galactica stuff. So it says they're closer to 115 scale. Sounds great. Pinker, you like it. Looking forward to seeing StarCraft. Didn't play the game either, but I love sci-fi. Yeah. Doesn't sound like any of us played it. But we're all kind of excited because it's sci-fi, right? Hi, yeah, but Joy Toy would kill it. Hope they don't abandon the Dark Source line. Yeah, I know. Or Battle for the Stars. Yeah, and that's what I was kind of saying. It kind of seems like they have, huh? But maybe they're just, taking a year off, or, they're focusing on other stuff. Those King of Fighters are awesome. 118, yeah. They're really good, though. They are really good, but they're not in scale. Joy Toys fooled me before with scale, yeah. So hopefully that's what these are going to be. They're saying all the right things. They're saying all the right things. But we'll have to, wait and see. What was a really good, and shout out to Jeff Jabalong. He sent me this interview. Patrick Chan posted it. Jeff let me know about it. This lady here, I don't know her name. She interviewed the owner, the founder of Joy Toy, and she mentioned StarCraft, and he's like, "Yeah, it's a big deal. We're doing StarCraft," and he says we're doing some other IPs, and so she tries to get him to say it. What IPs? And he just says it's a big IP in China, and there are about 5 or 6 IP collaborations in total coming to Joy Toy. 5 to 6. Now, I don't know if that includes the StarCraft or not, but that's a lot of IPs. So I think Joy Toys, they're about to jump to the top of the line again and give us something. I have no idea what these could be. The Turtles one was out of the blue. We've seen what they've done with some of the other stuff that they've had with the Warhammer. So I don't know. Any speculation what these other IPs collaborations could be? I'm disappointed they stopped the Corvus Belli. Yeah, I know that was a big one we lost. They'll be using a lot of Space Marine molds for this StarCraft. Nothing worse than paying high price for figures you can't use, like I did with King of Fighters. I know you're not a Warhammer 40k, but did you get some of the Tyranny aliens? I did. I have them right up there. I got like 4 or 5 of them. They're awesome. They're a lot of fun. Yeah. And the Tau Empire. Those were kind of the 2 groups that I got in Warhammer. I didn't get really anything else. Guess their Roman lines abandoned. Oh, that's another one I forgot. You're right. The Centurion, the Roman, forgot what that line was called, but you're right. Their fantasy line. I'd be super happy with the 118 Ranma half. High Chaparral figures incoming. Oh, hope they do Voltron. That would be cool. A lot of requests for Warcraft since Joy Toy is working with Blizzard. Yeah, that's another game that people kept telling me to, oh, you should play Warcraft. You should play Warcraft. And I just never got into it. I never did. I never had a good enough computer back then to jump into that. SWAT cats. There you go. Love that idea. Need Manolito. Yeah, so 5 to 6 IPs. I don't know if that StarCraft's in that 5 to 6, but that's a lot of IPs. Hopefully they're 118. They have tried to get out of, or I would say they've explored other scales as well. But pretty much they're 118. I'd say 99%, 95, 90%, somewhere in the 90s. 118. So I think there is something coming. So, we'll talk about it when it happens. But I have no idea. I have no idea what it could be. I think that Blizzard, that's probably a good guess. I don't know what else Blizzard does. I can't think of, I just don't know. I don't know. Someone just got the Voltron license, but I can't remember. Oh, it was Hasbro. Oh, but it was for the Voltron movie. I don't know if it was the Legacy Voltron stuff. For sure. And Buck, imagine getting Masters of the Universe. Man, I would love that. I've been watching a lot of old He-Man cartoons lately. Hopefully I can get some aliens or droids out of the Joy Toy stuff. Yeah. We don't know. We don't know. But we'll see. All right, gonna stay. We're gonna stay in Joy Toy and talk a little bit about the turtles now. So last week, I think it was last week, the week before, they announced Super Bebop, Mighty Rocksteady, some big boys. These went up for pre-order. Seems like they've slowed down a bit with the turtle releases. But I was thinking it's probably because of the van. It looks like some people are starting to get the van, the turtle van in Asia. Saw that on the hub that someone had it, and did some pictures and videos. So maybe, it's such a big item. Maybe that's kind of part of what's slowed the line down. The waves, it seems like the last couple waves have just been two figures instead of, well, they started a little bit bigger, but they've gone down to about two figures a wave. So two more figures, some robot bad guys. I had kind of forgot about these guys in the story. Um, and at first I was like, "Oh, are they in the suits?" And then I had to go like, "Oh no, they're not in the suits at all. They're like cloned robots of them. They've got their own thing going on." But they did come up for pre-order here. I did pre-order these two. I did. I've been pretty much all in on this line. Um, and going back to one of my comments earlier that I read, people were saying, because it's Joy Toy, they're getting bigger and bigger. But I was thinking, really since April and Casey Jones, they really haven't done any humans. All of the characters have been big, whether it's the Croc or Metalhead. All of the characters, the Triceratons, they all have been big characters, so they are going to be big. Um, Hopefully, that's why, and it's not just that they're King of Fightering us and they're just making them bigger and they're telling us they're 118. But these are big boys here. These are going to be big guys. I did grab the slide that showed how big they are. Um, let's see. Anything 118 is awesome to me. Me too. Me too. Um, Joy Toy 118. Motu would be great. I could see them going after that if the license available. Could be Overwatch. That's a good guess. That's another good guess. I remember Funko tried to do the Overwatch stuff. That didn't work out well. These look cool, but they're huge for 118. Yeah, they are. They are, but I think they're huge characters, so they can do it. They can get away with it here. Um, but even Casey Jones, when I think about Casey Jones, was big for a 118 guy, not a King of Fighters big, but he was big. But it's still in line. They really haven't done any humans. Shredder, the Foot Soldiers, the Turtles were small, but they were supposed to be. But Casey Jones in April, pretty much it. They got to give a Super Shredder. Yeah, that would be a good one. Yeah, I love the Turtles and the King of Fighters. Uh, they look cool. They got to give a Super Shredder. Could be slowed down because Mattel's taking over TMNT. Could be. The master license, yeah. It's funny to talk about Joy Toys slowing as their output is relentless compared to other companies. Yeah, I know, huh? And we're comparing them to themselves. There's no one else that they're still pumping them out probably faster than anyone else. Though Hasbro's starting to get quicker with the vintage collection. Um, but you're right. You're right. How tall are these figures? I'll show you here, Jason. Let me just jump through. They have. I grabbed. When I looked at all these, I had like 30 slides of these guys, and I chopped it down to like 6 or 7 each because they had so many good pictures. But I did want to grab some of the paint details because Joy Toy, if they show you this like this is what you're gonna get. They don't play around. That what you see is what you get. The final product will look like these pictures. I've very rarely been tricked from a sculpt or a paint app. Scale, they've tricked me, but not this stuff. This guy's 13.6 centimeters. I'm American. I don't know what that means, but he's big. He's big. If 10 and a half is like 4.25, that's a big guy. That's a lot of plastic. But I think the paint, the sculpt, I hope that Viacom's not right there on the jacket. It might be. I hope it's not. I It could always be removed, but I hope that's not right there. But maybe they had nowhere else to put it. But these little paint details, they look really good. You know, the metal wash looks really good. Looks like he comes with a ton of stuff. I think that's the last slide for him, but I grabbed these because it looks like, you know, he's got a blade here, he's got a chainsaw here, lots of options. All these rivets, looks really cool. It's got the smash there. These look really good. You know, the paint always looks really good. He hates pizza. Turtles like pizza. He hates pizza. But you can see here, it comes with a lot of stuff. Not as much as some of the other ones, but he's got what you need. Got the meter, smash someone with. He's got the gun. He's going to shoot someone. He's a couple different options to cut you up. I think I took out the slide that shows the jaw opens, and there's a little rocket that you could put in his mouth to make it look like a missile's shooting out of this little missile back here that's shooting out of his mouth. Couple stands, pretty customary for these figures to get a couple stands, but they look really good. Like I said, I did pre-order these. I'm pretty much all in on this line so far. But again, I guess it slowed down a little bit. Yeah, I guess it slowed down a little bit. I'm sorry, wait, I lost you guys here. Super Shredder. I don't think these guys, I don't think I'll get these guys, but I do love them. I want 3 more metal heads to make more turtle power suits. Yeah. Leatherhead was oversized. Isn't Blizzard merged with Activision? That I don't know. The bigger TMNT stuff is 5.5, give or take. Bjorn, yes, and both owned by Microsoft. Oh, okay. Robot Bebop and Rocksteady. No Robot Shredder. I missed the opportunity. Welcome, Juno Ripper. Yeah, maybe that's next. Maybe that's next. Joy Toy's faster than the Jazzwares Fortnite. I wouldn't worry about the Joy Toy and 118 King of Fighters. I think it's an exception, something to do with Japanese video game figures being bigger. Oh, okay. So maybe Joy Toy is also doing some Activision game. That would be cool. Yeah, that could be in that 5 to 6 IPs that we were talking about. Almost 5.5 inches. Almost 6 inches for the Mecha Bebop and Rocksteady. 6-inch, dang. It's 6 inches, but it's 1/18 scale, right? So it is 6 inches, but it's not 1/12 scale. I'm done with Joy Toy Turtles. I'll have the core cast except Casey Jones. The scale's getting too big. Yeah, and that's what I was saying. I think all the characters that they've done recently have called to be bigger, but you're mentioning the Croc. Maybe he is too big. But I think until they give me a human, you know, just a normal human, I can't really say it's too big for me. Wish Joy Toy would do Marvel, I know, or DC. I know DC. It's a huge hole right now for DC at 118, and Marvel's been getting, you know, those what were they called? I forgot, the ZD toy stuff, you know. But we need a modern, articulated, modern Marvel and DC lines. And welcome, Alfred. That would rock our community in a good way. Which choice? Oh yeah, that would. They're great with tech figures, but I need more mutants. Yeah, I know. There's still so many characters that they can do. You know, I always think of the Baxter Stockman. That seems like an easy one. Almost every turtle line does a Baxter Stockman. I'm surprised that they've already gone on to some of these other ones before they've gotten him out. April, Shredder, and Casey are normal humans. Yeah, and I think they're about normal size. I think Casey's a little big, but he's a hockey player. He's a big dude. Strong, you know? Overwatch would be great. So would League of Legends. Yeah. Marvel Universe was their 375. I know. I still pick those up. I'm working on a, excuse me. I'm going to try to do a army build video soon on some Marvel Universe stuff that I've been trying to army build. TMNT Scratch. Need Rat King. Yeah, that's a good one too. Rat King. He's a human, so it'd be good to see him. After the core, I've been picking and choosing the ones I want. Yeah, I'm calling it now. Joy Toy is going to do Call of Duty. Wow, that would be great. Casey in the comics is bigger, man. So maybe they went for that. Yeah, maybe, huh? Maybe. I think he's the last. Well, no, maybe it was April. April was the last human they did, and she was in good scale. But everybody else then has been a mutant or a robot, or the Triceraton, an alien. But you can see there he comes with a lot of stuff. Here is the Mighty Rocksteady. I kind of like the Rocksteady more, but it seemed like the Bebop had a little bit more paint apps with those. That's why I pulled those out, those photos. Um, but I kind of like this one a little bit more. You see, he's got some like exhaust, almost look like car exhaust coming out of the back of his vest, his metal vest. But he's got some paint apps too. He had the same, almost the same exact thing. His mouth opens, rocket. You can put a rocket in there. Good paint work. He's yellow, silver, and black. Bebop was red, silver, and black. Again, not as many accessories as some of the other figures, but it seems like the bigger they got, the Triceratons had a lot of stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the rhyme. I don't know the reason. But these look pretty good. There's one of the tattoos. Is it a tattoo? I guess it's not. It's a detail. Again, same size. Looks like he's the same size. And about the same amount of stuff. I think he's got like a bomb there, rifle. I think this is a communicator, isn't it? This pink one here. Couple hands, couple sets of hands, couple stands. Pretty normal stuff that we've seen with these guys and with these two, compared to each other. April was perfect. Yeah, I think she was. It's one of the best female figures at 118. Krang had a lot of. Oh yeah, Krang too, and Krang was huge. He's supposed to be, but he was huge. Leatherhead on the Nickelodeon show was huge, and they're borrowing from all the turtle history. That's a good point. That's the thing. These are kind of like their own takes, aren't they? They're not coming from one source necessarily, which I guess gives them the leeway. But I think Tech is saying no. They might be taking too much liberty, maybe, with the scale. These could make cool large robots, even if you're not into turtles. Yeah. Can you smell the Rocksteady is cooking? Yeah. I always it's weird. I always liked Rocksteady more than Bebop. They were both, dumb. Like they're both not the smartest, guys. But I always kind of liked Rocksteady a little bit more. I'm going to kind of stay in Joy Toy, even though this isn't Joy Toy, but I think this is like a third party. I saw this on Locker Toys on LT Cave. Have you guys seen this? It looks like this third party, I think they made it to go with your Warhammer stuff. And you guys know I'm not a big Warhammer fan. I don't collect the line, but I do like spaceships. I do like, if I think I can use it in my world building, if it's just a spaceship, I'll take a look at it. I'll consider it. And I found this, they're calling it a 118 space capsule. Technically it's not Joy Toy, but I wanted, again, I was telling you when I was ordering this stuff, putting in order for the slideshow, I put it here with the Joy Toy stuff because they're kind of, using the Joy Toy colors and symbols, though I think this is a third party. Is that 3D printed? I'm not sure. I'm honestly kind of partial to Toka and Razor. Those are great figures. Yeah, those are good ones. I have them both actually down here on the bottom. I never did videos on them. I probably should have. I'm honestly kind of partial to Toka and Razor. I'm not sure. But it's on LT Cave. It's expensive. This is it here. Express 118 Space Capsule. They're using the Joy Toy figures in the shots. They're using the color of that marine. It looks cool. It folds up, could be a nice piece. Very expensive. But it's nice, and I just wanted to point it out. Just wanted to talk about it because it does look pretty cool. It's not something I'll get. Um, I think I would if it was, way cheaper. But at this price and everything, I'm not. But maybe if you're a Warhammer collector, Pinker, I know you collect Warhammer. Maybe this is you're like, oh wow, okay. Um, but maybe someone else could, like you're asking, maybe someone could 3D print this. Maybe this isn't that big of a print. I don't know how that works. Talk to you later. Oh, okay, Ben. See you later. Thanks for dropping by. It's a drop ship. It's a fun looking playset. Yeah. Yeah, they're calling it a capsule. They're calling it capsule. But yeah, it looks like a dropship. That's too pricey. Yeah, for me too. It's a drop pod like ODST, but Warhammer. Yeah, I guess so. It looks pretty cool. I don't want to spend too much time on it. Just thought I'd point it out. It looks cool. It looks like it could be a nice diorama to take photos with. Um, don't know how fragile it would be to actually play with it. Give it to my kid or something. But looks cool. It is on the pricey end. This is the only place I've seen it. I was kind of surprised to see it because I have not heard about it, and I was looking for something else. I think I was trying to pre-order the Bebop and Rocksteady, and I saw this and was like, "Whoa, where'd that come from?" So, just wanted to point it out. It's on LT Cave if you're interested at all. If you got points, I know Pirates, you got points and things. Maybe that would soften the blow of the cost. Just wanted to point it out though. This was the last slide I had for the Joy Toy stuff, and again, this isn't Joy Toy, but you know what I mean. Um, Looks like it should be easy to 3D print. Yeah, that's what I kind of thought too. Looks cool, but I don't have space for that. Prefer the Primarchs. Those are big. Yeah. So now we're going to kind of move into the independent toy makers, sort of the smaller guys that we love, that we still buy their stuff, but they're not the Hasbros, they're not the Joy Toys. And we'll start right here with our favorite, our favorite pre-order action figure company. They blew up the wanted poster that was on the back of the Berzagi and the new wave that came out, and it's the Goblin Ransacker, right? And Bjorn was working on this, and he sent this to me. Thank you, Bjorn, for letting me share this. And I think I saw something similar on the hub later on, but you were the first one to share this with me. Maybe this is our first look at the Goblin Ransacker, the Boss Fight Studio Vitruvian Hacks. I guess what is it, the fifth figure? Yeah, I think the fifth figure in that wave of fantasy stuff that they've just kind of finally dropped. That remember, I think I pre-ordered them, the Berzagi in June of 24, I think it was. So this guy looks pretty cool. Looks pretty creepy. Looks good. I haven't heard anyone, Bob, you can chime in. I know you got some of these. We always complain about Boss Fight, how long it takes. But I haven't heard anyone complain about this new wave. We've all complained about the time it takes and the cost. But no one's got the figure that I've heard or seen and said these figures aren't any good. I was really happy with that Berzagi. I think I tried to show it in the video. I might have rushed the video, but they're really good. That figure is really, really good. And all the other people that I saw got the dwarfs. They got the other guy, the small guy that it looks like this one's based on. They seem to be really happy with them. They seem, that Boss Fight knows what they're doing. It's all those other things, right? So this figure's probably going to be pretty good. And it looks like, I think, Jeff, you mentioned earlier, this is probably going to be in stock when they announce it, and you don't have to pre-order it. You're not going to have to wait anything more than the shipping from you ordering it to being shipped to you when they finally announce it. But they're kind of trying to build up a little bit of hype, I think, by slow rolling it out. Good for them. I bet they're hoping that you'll also grab a couple other figures too while you're there. But this looks pretty cool. Let's see. Gotta go. McDowell, thank you for stopping by later. Have a good night. $150 for a large empty cone. No, thank you. That looks cool. I need a few. Oh, you're talking about this guy. Yeah, yeah. Cool figure. It's fun that they dropping a surprise figure in stock. He's giving a little buzz back. Yeah, yeah. Will be cool figure to get in 28. Yeah, I think their plan was, like Jeff's saying though, is they are gonna actually have this one when they offer it. But you're right. Yeah, I know, Bob. I know what you're saying. I know what you're doing there. The new wave is good. Yeah, the Dwyn is a good figure. The dwarf, or yeah, yeah, in the stock tomorrow, I think. Oh wow, so it's gonna drop tomorrow. You think boss fight shipping is pricey? Yeah, it is. It is. That's a good point. In stock 223. Yeah, that's tomorrow. 3 p.m. That's noon for me. Cool. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get it. I didn't get any of the dwarfs or the small guys. I really just wanted that big guy. Um, I guess I prefer bigger characters. He's cool though. Maybe I'll get him. I don't know. I don't think so though. But he looks cool. He looks cool. But you're right. The shipping is pricey. It's like that double-edged sword too, because if it goes to Big Bad, the shipping's cheaper. But Big Bad is also going to put a little bit, the figure is going to cost a few bucks more. It might be better to go that way, but I don't know. Maybe this might be a boss fight for their store exclusive. I don't know. Maybe Jeff knows. So that you've got to go through them. Maybe not. Maybe you can get it both places. You'll have to, always. I know you guys do the same thing. Probably you put it in your cart. You act like you're going to check out to see that real final total, and then you go to the next one and you do the same thing and see where you could save that few dollars. Yeah, they're pricey and you get hit with duty fees. I did my best to brighten it. No, you did a good job. Yeah, you did a good job. I do kind of want it. I like the torch. I like it. I like it, but I don't know. I don't think this one. You getting one, Bjorn? Yeah, I'm probably gonna pass on this one. Probably gonna pass on it. I wouldn't mind getting another one or two of that Berzagi though, because it did have that helmeted like army builder head. But I can't get everything. I don't think BBTS has this latest boss fight. They haven't yet because I've ordered that one of those Berzagis on there. I ordered them both, and the boss fight actually fulfilled it first this time. I'm still waiting on my knights. I know Bjorn got his knights. I ordered many of those knights on Big Bad, and they haven't even sent me that email saying it's coming, get ready, like they did for the Eagle Force stuff. So not sure what's taking so long. Normally I use BBTS. Nothing beats a pile of loot. Yeah, absolutely. So that's the one boss fight thing I wanted to talk about. Yeah, I'll be curious to see, Bjorn or whoever else is getting this. I'll check it out when you do get it. I'm not really collecting fantasy, but I'm tempted by the dwarves, halfling. That's what I was trying to say earlier, and the goblin. I like smaller figures to mix in with regular sized ones. He's gonna make a cool alien. Yeah, does look like an alien already, doesn't he? Yeah, that's my thinking, is the sci-fi up to small boss fight figures. Yeah. All right. Wanted to talk a little bit about this guy. This must have been earlier last week. Boris Ping, his Instagram account. Haven't heard too much from him in a while, but he posted some photos on his Instagram page. So, I do like the Boris Ping stuff. I think I've gotten. I was gonna say all of them, but I think there's one or two I didn't get. I can't remember. I think at least one I did not get. So I've gotten almost everything that Boris Ping has put out. I like them. I do like them, and I feel like they're kind of in between like Joy Toy and Haya. They're not better than either one, but they're certainly in that quality sort of. I think they're in that sort of category of Haya and Joy Toy. They're somewhere in there with those lines. So I do like these figures. He posted a couple pictures. I want to talk about them real quick. My knights were ordered directly from Boss Fight. Yeah, and so were those Berzagis I got. But everything that I ordered Boss Fight from BBTS, haven't heard a thing from them. And I've got several of the knights and another Burzagi, another one of those guys. So we'll see. My luck, they're gonna come when the Eagle Force stuff comes in March, and then I'm gonna be in trouble. They're kind of fragile though. Yeah, they are. They are. So probably a little bit more like Haya and a little bit less than Joy Toy, because I don't feel the Joy Toy stuff breaks too though, especially around the wrist, or the hip. So but yeah, but they're I think they're right there. You're right, Pirates. They're kind of like right in between like Haya and Joy Toy, but the figures are good. They're nice. I think he's only done females so far. He likes the female figures. So do I. It looks like he's working on the butterfly joints. Looks like he's perfecting it, or he's experimenting. I don't believe this figure has come out yet. I'm sure there's some reuse here. I off the top of my head, I'm not sure which part. Maybe even the head, the face, but the headphones or the earmuffs, I don't recognize. They look like they're sculpted right on. Maybe it's not a separate piece, but they look pretty good. This figure looks really good. He also had this one. Again, these I'm guessing these are like paint masters, or like they're what do they call those? They're in that phase. Like you see all the parts back here he's got on his desk. He's getting closer, it looks like, because this last one here, he's teased this one for quite a long time. I really want this one. He showed this one off when we got the last wave, so it still doesn't look like it's in production yet, or maybe it is. It does look a little bit farther along than this one. Maybe not this one, but they look good. I'm probably gonna grab at least this one. I really want this one. This one looks good. But maybe they're getting closer. So he's teasing. He's letting us know, hey, I'm still here. Look at these figures. They're getting closer. Follow, subscribe, all those things. They're way overpriced. Prepare your wallets for incoming Eagle Force. Likewise, if you haven't pre-ordered, check them out, or they're still available to pre-order. I have Jabalong. After the Eagle Force, I won't be ordering for a while. Yeah, I'm going to be tapped out too, I think. But I really want this one. And I'm guessing like I think this is even smaller batch than, maybe not, but what they say, that the less of them, the smaller the batch, the more expensive. And these are on the higher end of price. But I have liked all of them. I had a little bit of trouble with the last one that had the soft goods dress. One of her legs wouldn't stay on. I mean, it will pop on, but as soon as you started to articulate her and kind of pose her, it would kind of fall off. So I felt I didn't have any problems with the first wave, but I did have one problem with the second wave. Not enough to keep me from getting a few more when they finally come out. These are not the easiest to get though. Only a couple. I think only LT Cave and maybe Cool Toys. Only one or two online retailers I found really had these. Maybe that's going to change. I'm not sure. But I like how the figures look. I like seeing the progress, and they go well with the Joy Toy, the Haya Joes, the Joy Toy military stuff. These are real world figures. They'd go good with your dinosaur stuff. If you're doing a Jurassic Park type, Jurassic World type thing. Rocket Will, what up? I've been watching. Phones all charged. Thought I'd say hi. Yeah, thanks for coming in. Good to see you out there. Gotta go. Internet's failing. Oh no. All right, Bjorn. Have a good night. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for the goblin picture. Let's see. After March, it's all saving for Joe Fest. Yeah, tons of knockoff Boris Pink figures on eBay. Yeah, and that was kind of the first thing I remember when the Boris Pink came out. It did feel like, oh, it's a knockoff of Joy Toy or something like that. Yeah, and I still kind of get that figure, but he is, well, aren't they almost like he did he's doing like characters that he doesn't have IP to, but he's like it's not that person. It just happens to look like them, kind of a thing. Hello, everyone. Michael Gutierrez, welcome, welcome. Um, like the Resident Evil, wasn't one of the girls like a Resident Evil look-alike kind of? I can't remember. Or Dino Riders or something. I'm really bad with that. I don't remember because I always make them my own character. There's my own story. The source material doesn't really matter to me. All right. Let's see. Where are we? Oh, this is a good one. Let's go to this one. Let's go to this one. Welcome, Michael Gutierrez. Time Novel Legends, Chicken Fried Toys. What did I write here? Where are they? Where are they? This is the paint master for the Forgotten World Hunter. Another really good looking figure from Time Novel Legends. Is it JR? I forget his name. Posted these on their Facebook page, so I pulled these pictures right off their page. Looking pretty good. I think about what was it? Probably a month ago. It might have been the last show. I think it might have been last show. So 2 weeks ago or a month ago, he also posted some pictures of another figure that looked really good. That this one seems to use the same legs from, maybe more, probably more. I didn't memorize how that looked. But another Native American figure. This one looks really good. This is one, again, I think he said is going to come up for pre-order soon, or it will be a pre-order. It wasn't part of the Kickstarter. It looks really good. I am a little bit curious, though. The last two updates he did these Native American figures. We haven't really heard about the horses. We haven't heard about anything about the Kickstarter in quite a long time. I do love these reveals, though. But I'm a little concerned, like, where's the Kickstarter stuff? He hasn't really said much about it for a while. I think since at least Christmas or before Christmas. Or maybe it was like Thanksgiving even, November. But this looks pretty good. Are you guys interested in this figure? He did not Jill Valentine. Yeah, when will the Tales of the TMT Razor and Toka figures be released? I'm not sure about those. Resident Evil, Dino Crisis, and the blonde looks like Elena from Uncharted. Yeah. All his figures been Resident Evil and one from Dino Crisis. Yeah, so that's where he's drawing his inspiration. Now that's cool. I want the whole Native American wave. Yeah, these look really good. I think this is some of this stuff here. I don't know because I don't have any of the other. I don't remember how many. I know he did like the Native American Scout, but he's in a Union or a U.S. Army uniform. I don't know. Has he done just Native Americans like this? I don't think he has yet. So this might be like our first tomahawk, our first quiver, our first bow and arrows, I think. Don't hold me to that. But it looks really good. I'm more interested in these now that I'm seeing them. I wasn't at first because I don't have a lot of cowboys and stuff. But this would be really cool when we get our Not Long Ranger figure. Maybe this could be your Tonto, but it looks good. It looks really good. I like the teases. I like what I'm seeing, but these aren't for pre-order quite yet. But he mentioned something like a lot of them, he has to, we have to pre-order a certain amount for him to be able to make the order. And some of the stuff on the site has lingered for quite a while because he hasn't got the pre-orders enough to do it. So hopefully introducing, these Native Americans that won't happen, or it won't be as long. They were on display with the other TMNT figures at New York Toy Fair. I missed them. I missed those. The blonde is from Resident Evil also. Okay. I like to get the Native Americans, but we'll probably have to pass. Budget is pretty full already this year. Yeah, it's filling up. March is going to be, I just know that the boss fight stuff is going to show up at Big Bad in March because that's kind of how it works for me, my luck. He looks good. The only dime novel I got was Sundown at Joe Fest. Okay. Yeah, I have a few. I have a few now, and I like them. They're fun. They're good little figures. I've preferred the Stranger. What was it called? Strange Worlds. Strange. The this kind of the subline. But I think I'm gonna. I'm curious enough. I want to try one of these. Either this guy or the one that we looked at a couple weeks ago. But again, they're not up for pre-order quite yet. But he's teasing them, so it sounds like they're pretty far along. He called this one a Paint Master, so that means it's pretty close, right? That means it's pretty close, or it's closer. He's not. This isn't just happening. It's been going, ongoing. Um, I don't have one yet. Okay, yeah, I have a couple. I liked the World War I type Ranger. I forget what his name was. I did a video on. I have a, if you're interested at all, Weird West Tales. That's it. Yeah, yeah, Weird Tales. Yeah, you're right, Bob. That's what it was called. I think I was thinking of the Star Trek Strange New Worlds, but yeah, you're right. It's Weird West Tales. Um, oh, I lost my train of thought. Well, anyways, they're good. They're fun figures. I think they're usually about $30 a pop. He's got some on the website though that are in the 20s, and even some blank bucks that I think are like 15, but they don't have heads. But he has tons of heads and clothes and parts and pieces. So very Marauders in that like very Marauders like, but a little more expensive. The library of parts and pieces and stuff is not as quite as big. But it would grow. It will grow if we just buy him. Then he'll have the capital to do it. The upcoming Eagle Force wave has a Native American in black robe. I think he'll be a bit of a sleeper. Looks cooler than people might have realized. The price is what kept me away. Yeah, yeah. I've never heard of Weird West Tales. I think it's like his own subline because there's like aliens. Doesn't he have the chupacabra or the Wendigo? He has some of the like the those kind of type things where it's not strictly like cowboys and Indians. It's like some of the weird and wacky Weird West Tales type stuff, chupacabras and that kind of stuff. The Rougarou, like those kind of weird kind of. Well, I guess are they real? Wives' tales, legend type stuff. Because right, doesn't he has Santa Claus, right? But it's not Santa Claus, something else. Anyways, it's cool stuff. Check out the website. The Wendigo is also part of Marvel. Yeah, you're right, he is. I guess Wendigo though, right? It's like or Bigfoot, like that kind of thing. I don't know which Krampus. There you go, Krampus. Yeah. Chicken Fried started with 100% authentic cowboys, so Weird West Tales like a subline, giving them license to branch out into other things, monsters and aliens. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. He wrote it better than I could say it. So this figure looks good. I think I'll get it. I'll pre-order it when it comes up. I think I will. When you pre-order with Chicken Fry, though, they do take the money. It's not a big bad type thing when it shows up, as far as I can remember. No, you have to pay. So if you can do without the $30 for however long, then there you go. But I think if you don't, that's the problem with some of them. Not enough people pre-ordered, so he can't make them yet. So we're just waiting for more people to pre-order them so he can finally get them made, and then you get them. So something to consider. I think this one is on my list. Hopefully it's not in March that he puts a pre-order up. Small Joe's has them. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, Small Joe's does sell them too. You're right. He does. I think they're the only ones, right? So he must buy them. Small Joe's must buy them, and then he sells them. So let's see what's after that. Oh, this one. This is kind of weird. Patrick Chan, Premium 118 Hub. Upcoming Girls War and Planet Green Valley figures from creator Wei Hu Wei. I don't know if I said that right, but I want to give Patrick his credit. He posted about these again. I think like another subline to Planet Green Valley. So we're talking modern futuristic military here, but not necessarily. Does he also have a figure of Mothman or the Loch Ness Monster, if you don't mind me asking? No, he's got an alien, like your traditional looking Martian. I think two, right? One glows in the dark, or it does glow in the dark. It actually glows in the dark. And then he's got the Krampus. And then he did another creature. It's a 2-pack. I can't remember what it is. So there, I think there's an alien, the Krampus, and there's like a third weird Western Tales creature. All right, Pinker, take it easy. Have a good night. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you. Appreciate you coming. More people would order if you lowered the price. They would. They would. Yeah. I know it's tough. I think that chicken fried, right? It's like, I think it's two guys. It's two guys, I think, or one guy. I don't know. I can't speak for him, but I know he's, he mans all this stuff. He does all the social media himself. He's at the toy shows. I wish, in my world, I wish that Big Bad could get behind him and some of these other guys that, like they did with Fresh Monkey, because that really seemed to push, Fresh Monkey to the top, and but they can't do it with everyone. I was really hoping last year that the Big Bad would step in and help Marvin win with the Edge with that Kickstarter, but didn't happen. Another line of overpriced fragile figures, more like Planet Glass Valley. Yeah, I only have a couple of these. I have like 5 Planet Green Valley figures. It's a werewolf. That's what it is. Yeah, you're right. It's a werewolf, but like a bipedal werewolf. Yeah. Yeah, Fresh Monkey. Yeah, Fresh Monkey Fiction. They do the Eagle Force line. You can only buy those pretty much on Big Bad. I guess you can get them on AliExpress too, or eBay, but yeah. Yeah, these are expensive, man. These are expensive. I thought it was weird. He called it Girl War, and then they're like all schoolgirls. It looks like there's 3 different ones, and I don't know. I don't know what to think about it. A lot of people said, that's why I got the Planet Green Valley stuff. A lot of people said, these are the best 118 figures there are. This was probably a year or 2 ago. Other channels talked about them. This is kind of like was it like a 118 kind of a legend? Like these Planet Green Valley figures, they're like $80 a figure, $100 a figure, but they're the best ones. And so I tried them. I tried a couple of them, and they're good. I think they're good. Are they worth those prices? I don't think so. I'm not sure any figure's worth that price. And not because of the scale, but just because, like, that's a lot of money. But I did grab a couple. I did a video on some of them, and I ended up getting a couple more later. I got mine off of AliExpress, though, where they're greatly discounted, but they're still really expensive. There's just no way to get these figures cheap. Just thought this was kind of curious, though, because it's like Girl War, couple different versions of them. But I think I grabbed this picture because I think what he was showing, though, is it's a subline, so it's compatible with the other stuff. So all the hands and the weapons and the clothes and the heads, they're all gonna, if you have some Planet Green Valley stuff, this is pretty much the same thing. Pop and swap, just like kind of like a Joy Toy thing. But a few new designs, but I didn't think they don't look that new. They don't look that different. But I just thought I would put it in here because it is new. It is a new line. This picture, they posted this picture, and I really can't tell what is from that new line and what is from the old line here. But I think they're just showing, look, they're compatible. If you have any of the old stuff, this new stuff, if you want the head from that one to go on the old body, it'll fit. If you want the gun, the holster, whatever it is, it will work because I think this body here with the high stockings, I think is this figure right here at the bottom. I think, I'm not sure. It's hard to tell because she's got the dress there, but I'm pretty sure that's that figure, or at least the lower body of it. Are they anime inspired? You mean the Fresh Monkey stuff? No, more like real world military or sci-fi. The Japanese have a fascination with school. Yes, they do. Yeah, the only thing I like about this line is the scale of the weapons. Yeah, a lot of accessories, a lot of good web gear and things like that. Planet Green Valley figures are $30 in China. It's very small production runs, limited distribution, shipping tariffs that makes them expensive for you guys. Yeah, yeah, they're, I'd say, I haven't got any for a long time, but they were at least 60, $70. If you found one, I think for 40, 50 on AliExpress, that was like a good price, if that is even good. But I had to just try them because so many people talked about them, and I like them. They're good. Collector friendly packaging, just like this stuff. I put them back in the package. They're actually in a. I have them all grouped together in a bin. I don't have any of my real world military. Everything's sci-fi right now out here in my room, so I don't have any of my fantasy stuff out or anything. But they're good. Like I said, I don't know if anything's worth that price, but they're good. And if you're curious, you want to scratch that itch and just try one, I would go off AliExpress. I don't think this War Girl is anything that I will pick up. I'm more like this stuff here, but I think I have one male and 3 or 4 girls, and so like 5 Planet Green Valley figures. That's it. I don't think I'll get any more unless something happens. They get real cheap, or he completely makes something different that fits in, and then maybe I would consider it. But just wanted to point out another line, 118. I don't know if these are. I think these got. People talked about them so much because they're very rare, at least here in the States, and they're so expensive. So the legend of them might have been greater than the actual, having them. And you get them and go, oh, they're pretty good. I don't know if they're better than Joy Toy. And Joy Toy is, third of the price. But they're good. They're fun. If you're into military stuff, if you only collect military stuff, you probably want to try 1 or 2 of these. They did do it like a robot. I didn't grab the picture. They have a bot, like a drone robot head bot one that's really good that I've never been able to get. I tried to a couple times, too expensive, and it was sold out where I looked. But it's good stuff. It's good stuff. Not a line that I collect anymore, but it is in the news. I wanted to talk about it. War Girls and Planet Green Valley. Why do the Japanese schoolgirls wear those uniforms? That I don't know. But nearly every anime show that I've watched, they wear an outfit similar to that. Planet Green Valley is great. Just haven't bought many, and they're kind of repetitive. Yeah, that's the thing. I have 3 or 4. I have 5. Unless he does something that they're all kind of the same in the end. It's just a school uniform. Lots of countries have them. All right, so let's talk about this now. Patrick Chan, he was the one that I found. He was the first person I saw talk about this, but there's someone else in here too. I'll give them credit when we get to that slide. So more pictures have shown up. Pretty pictures from this Highway to Chaos. I don't know if I'm saying the name right, but from Tequila. I don't know. We're going to call it Highway to Chaos. Same figure that we looked at, they teased a month ago. More pictures. We get to see a little bit more of this guy. This is the team leader. So this is the figure that they have teased a couple of times. Patrick Chan seems to know a lot about it, or at least, knows this group, or they're giving him information. Same picture here. I just kind of cropped it. I wanted to make sure I didn't forget to mention Patrick Chan here. War Girls reminds me of War Boys and Furiosa figures from Mad Max. Oh yeah, I never saw Furiosa. I saw the first Mad Max. It was good, the first one. Never saw Furiosa. That would be a great IP to get. Do figures from that apocalyptic Mad Max world, whether it was the Mel Gibson one or the the one that those. That's a pass for me. Yeah, so team leader, I think these look more like Acid Rain, like the body, the hand, the forearms and things. Looks like he can almost look down the scope there almost. I'm not sure if he's got butterfly joints. He looks cool. He's an army builder. Um, looks like he's got a communicator. Don't know much about these guys. They look pretty cool. Uh, like I said, I'll probably try one to see. Just like the Planet Green Valley stuff. I'll try it. As long as it's not $100 for one. If it's in the range that I think it should be, like $30, maybe maybe a little bit more, might be worth it just to get it, see what it's about, talk about it on the channel. If he ends up being pretty good, maybe I get a few more. I don't know. The price, right? All that stuff's gonna kind of matter. This guy looks like he could fit in with your military stuff or your sci-fi stuff. I'm not sure this Highway to Chaos. It looks like some kind of, we were talking about Mad Max, maybe like some kind of acid rain apocalyptic kind of world. He's also posted a teaser for a few more. Yeah, we're gonna get to those here. This one reminds me a lot of, yeah, me too. This looks like a lot like Acid Rain to me. Maybe it's like an Acid Rain knockoff, Especially this forearm right here. I swear there's a Acid Rain figure that has this forearm or something like it. Can't really tell if there's a butterfly there. I don't think there is. This is from Mundo Universe 3.75. I'm not sure where he got this picture. Maybe it was on Patrick Chan's. I didn't see it. I can't remember where I saw it. I screenshot it. I put it in here. I want to give him credit. Follow this guy on Instagram. But he's kind of got what you see here. I'm guessing maybe this is maybe the loadout for the first figure for this guy. Lots of sets of hands, knife, pistol, rifle, maybe an extra magazine. I can't quite see what that is. Maybe grenades there. Maybe a couple grenades. Looks cool. Like I said, I'll probably try it if it's not outrageous price. Army builder, I think it's good for a line to start with an army builder, because people that don't even care about the subject, if it's an army builder that fits in with their GI Joe or their Star Wars or whatever, they'll probably try it too, if the price is right. War Girls reminds me of high school. War Girls reminds me of High School of the Dead anime, but more realistic without more fan service. Yeah. Every Japanese like anime always has the schoolgirls. I wish the kids around here, more schools made the kids do that. Nice. There's also a Korean movie about a high school and a zombie apocalypse. It's 375. Interesting. I thought they were 118. I thought Patrick Chan said that they were 118. This Mundo Universe, I think he's like me. It's in his name, but he collects 118. I think it is 118 because Patrick says right here, it says 118 scale collectible action figure. I think Mundo Universe is just like Die Hard 3.75. It's just, it's just, if I could do it over, I'd put Die Hard 118, now if I could, but it's too late. But if there's a Die Hard 118 out there, I know you guys just took it from me, but that's okay. You can do that. I've never watched any Mad Max movies, but seen it parodied. Okay. If you're gonna watch it, I would start with the original. I think they hold up. Simply because it's like apocalyptic. You don't need all the fancy CGI or anything. It's just everything's run down and beat up, and I would start. I'd go to the source, the first couple movies, and then watch the new one later. Some people confuse the two. They do, and I always try to point out, they're not the same. we a lot of us we play with them and we display them the same, but they're not. And I think before the Battlestar stuff, the Battlestar Galactica stuff, seemed like the vintage collection and the modern, the O-ring stuff's all 375, but the modern stuff, vintage collection was kind of the last one that was still really doing 375. Everything else has gone to 118, whether it's Haya, Joy Toy, Planet Green Valley, Boris Ping, all these lines we've looked at, they pretty much are all really 118 and they're not 375. And people get them confused. And even the terminology, I kind of use the terms the same. And most people know what I mean. But you're right. There are some people that they don't know. They don't know. They're like, I thought you said it's this. Why isn't it not the same size? Well, technically, it's a little different. But yeah, if I could do it over again, I'd probably do Die Hard 118. The good one are Mad Max, The Road Warrior, and then Mad Max. The rest are so. You like Thunderdome? The Marvel Zombie series on Disney Plus was like Mad Max, but with Marvel characters. I've never saw that. I've read the comic. Well, they've done it a couple times. I've read Marvel Zombies, but I've not seen the show. But yeah, this figure, it looks pretty good. I'll probably try it. They did, I think Jeff was alluding to this, they did, Patrick Chan again, he showed these off. I think these are from their page, though. A couple new, or a few other characters that I think they plan on doing. They were the bad guys. I think these are the bad guys. We've got Eddie, and we've got Zed. Zed's dead, baby. Who knows who knows Zed? Zed's dead, baby. Name the movie. Gotta know that one. Thunderdome was not good. Oh, you don't like Tina Turner? You don't like Thunderdome? Come on. The Marvel Zombie Show is good. I'll have to watch it. I'm a little behind. I've tried to catch up on all the Marvel cinematic universe, but I'm probably a little bit behind in the cartoon stuff. I did watch the Spider-Man cartoon, the new Spider-Man one. I'm caught up on that. But yeah, we've got Eddie here. It's hard to tell, these are like comic book pictures or renderings. It's hard to tell. And they look like they're big. So you're probably not going to like these guys, Tech, because they don't look like their average person size. But we've got Eddie, we've got Zed, and they look like they're two of the bad guys. There's some like stuff down here. I didn't read it. Honestly, I didn't read it. I read what Patrick Chan wrote about them, but I didn't read what these guys actually wrote about them. But it looks like they're already planning for a couple more figures. So it looks like an army builder. Two bad guys. That's all we kind of know about this. The pictures have kind of coming out. I wonder if, the other figures, them being made, depends on how well this team leader does. Or maybe it's already maybe that's the first wave. It's these three guys. Don't know. But these bad guys do look to be, you can see how this guy he's smashing, how big his hand is over this guy. So I'm assuming these are going to be pretty oversized bad guys. Have you watched What If? Marvel Zombies, a spinoff. I watched the first season of What If. I did watch the first season of What If. I liked it. I have zombie burnout. Too many shows with zombies. Yeah, I've never been a zombie guy. Walking Dead, all that stuff. That's not a genre that I watch. And I put these guys to Kayla. I don't know anything about them except that they've done a transforming little robot. I put them in the independent stuff because in my mind they're not one of the big ones. They're not one of the big boys. So that's why I put them there. That's really all I had to talk about them. We'll keep an eye on them when more of these figures, when they finally come out. We'll look at them. Maybe they'll be good. Maybe they won't. I don't know. It's always good to have another player, though. It's always good to have another company in the mix. When so many companies are abandoning the 1/18 scale, it's good to see some, give it a try, like Factory Entertainment. All right, we're gonna move over to Haya now. This is really quick. Um, Not much here. New line from Haya, Animusha, Way of the Sword. I don't think I said that right, but Way of the Sword. It looks like it's a Capcom game. They announced that coming soon they're going to be doing figures from this game. I think the big question is, will they be 118? I don't know. This is all that they've talked about. This is the only thing that they said, hey, we're going to do these figures from this game coming soon. I don't really know this game. I had to go look it up, had to go kind of check it out, see what it is. I pulled these slides, these next couple slides, I pulled them right off of Capcom's website. I went to the game, had its own, splash page and everything. And it looks like Haya's going to be doing figures from this game. They look to me like fantasy, more fantasy than sci-fi or military. That's kind of how I break up my collection. There's sci-fi, there's military, like real world or futuristic military, and then there's fantasy. These seem to be more in the fantasy realm, or the characters from this game seem to be more fantasy. I didn't know this. This will be awesome. One team. Yeah, and I'm just not sure that they are. And I say that because Haya, they have been branching out. They stopped doing the RoboCop 118. They think they're doing RoboCop at 112 now. They're doing the Rocky figures. They're doing them in 112. So I hoping that these are 118. Besides Boss Fight Studio doing the fantasy stuff, there's really nobody doing 118 fantasy. When you look at 112 scale, they've got the Mythic Legions, they've got Savage Crucible, they've got a lot of lines, the Xerxes, they've got a lot of fantasy lines at 112. We really don't have any. We really don't have anything but Boss Fight. And we know about we've talked about Boss Fight. It's not, they're not pumping out figures all the time like Mythic Legions and some of these other guys. So here's hoping that they are 118, because these look like they would go really well with the Joy Toy Jang Hu stuff that they're not doing anymore. I love that Jang Hu stuff, guys. Really, really good subline from Joy Toy. It looks like it's kind of dead. They haven't really done any. But these look like they would pair well with them. When I went to the Capcom website and I pulled these slides, I went to characters. I'm like, well, let's see who are the characters in this game. Who are the possible figures they could make? And there was this guy. It looks like he's probably the main character, Miyamoto Musashi. There was Ono no Takamura, Oni Lady, and Izumo no Okuni. These were the 4 characters. If you see, you could see it right behind my slide there. When I went to the game, you go to characters. These were the only 4 characters that they showed. So I'm guessing these are the main characters. I don't know if they're bad. I don't know if they're good. But just these 4, if we could get these 4 at 118, that would be cool. And they would go really well with the Jang Hu stuff. And again, there's just nobody really doing fantasy at 118 but Boss Fight now. I want male elves. I think season 2 is being worked on. They're from the new game. Okay. But I thought this was the new game, right? Way of the Sword. Isn't that what this is? Is there 2 Way of the Swords? Or is there a new way? There's an old Way of the Sword and there's another Way of the Sword. Look like the same logo. I guess that's a logo. I don't know what that is. That's a logo, I think. So I thought that this was them. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, because this is all we got, right? Haya just put this up, said coming soon. So I'm trying to connect dots here. But I would like to see another fantasy line. That Boss Fight figure was good. The Berzagi. It had me thinking about fantasy again. I've told you guys, I was really hardcore collecting the Animal Wars, the Kingdom, the Boss Fight Studio stuff, anything that was fantasy. And when I got to Instagram a couple years ago, I kind of went back into my sci-fi realm, and I started doing more sci-fi, which is my first love. But and I haven't been in a fantasy kick in a while, but there just hasn't been a lot of fantasy stuff. So would like to see these figures come to life at 118. They look like samurai ninja type dudes. Not out yet. Okay, it's not even out yet. So maybe it'll coincide with the release of the game. I don't know. Again, I don't know. I've never even played this game. I've never heard of this game until Hyatt put that out. Doesn't even look like a game that I would really play. But it looks cool, and I like the character designs. Here is hoping that it's 118. If it is, we'll probably end up talking about it. If it's not, we may never talk about it again. Or if we do, we're going to say, damn it, it's not 118. Die Hard, you were wrong. No info, but I have a feeling that Onimushi is liable to be a larger scale. Yeah, it could be. I was thinking too, the less characters there are, the more likely it is that it's going to be a larger scale. Kind of like they did with like the Rocky stuff. There's not going to be an army builder in a Rocky line, so they'll be bigger. They did try to do. Oh, what is another line they've done? I can't even think of one now. Brain freezing. I don't know, but yeah, it could be. It probably. I mean, High has been branching out. Everybody wants to get that 112 money. More power to them. I wanted 118. But what Die Hard wants doesn't matter. There were lots of... This was like the first slide. I took the first slide because there were like 3 or 4 other pictures of them. But it was on a carousel. So I had to do a screenshot really quick to snap it before it flipped. So I just grabbed the first picture that they showed. But there were other pictures of these characters if you're interested to see them, And I don't know anything about the game. And there's a young dancer who, due to certain circumstances, comes to Ono no Takamura seeking the power to defeat the Gemma. I can't see that. It's so small on my screen. McFarlane did. Oh, they did. I didn't know that. One of my cousins used to have one of the old games for PS2 when he and I were kids. Oh, okay. I don't know why Haya didn't give us 118 Rocky. Seems like easy figures to do with the license. Yeah, I don't know. I would have bought all of them. I love that movie. You guys know I like boxing too. All right, so we're at the end now. This is the last bit of news, but there's a couple of slides here. We're going to talk Star Wars. We're going to talk TVC. We're going to talk New York Toy Fair reveals and pre-orders. I saved this for last. It was hard, guys, how do I order this stuff? How do I put it in? I know most of us collect the TVC stuff, but it was also, everyone also knows about it. So if you're still here, you're a TVC fan, thank you for staying. Thank you for staying, period, any of you. Thank you for putting up with me. But we're going to talk Star Wars now. We're going to talk TVC. This is my favorite line to collect. I think this is probably the biggest 118 line. It was my favorite line of the year last year. It was the only 375 118 line I felt that leveraged the scale because it gave us creatures, it gave us small vehicles, it gave us large vehicles, it gave us dioramas, and of course it gave us great figures. I don't think any of the other lines checked all those boxes in the way that the TVC does. So we're going to talk a little TVC here. Hope you guys don't mind. Onimushi is about an invasion of demons. Oh, really? So it's like fantasy, but with like demons, like ghosts and stuff? Interesting. I want to see the Mando and Grogu when it's in theaters. Yeah, me too. I probably will go see it. I pre-ordered Merrick and the 11th Brother. Yeah, me too. Me too. I don't collect TVC. Oh, you don't? Okay. Well, that's okay. That's okay. We're talking a lot of lines. I'm showing you, I'm talking about all this stuff, but I don't order all this stuff either. I don't collect all these lines either. I collect a lot of them, though. I'm not going to lie. I mean, it's in my name. I'm diehard, but I don't collect all of them. So not a big deal. But maybe you'll be something here that you like. This is going to be the Mando and Grogu Deluxe. They've gone back to the card back, bigger bubble. I guess it's going to come with this sticker on it. I'm indifferent to the sticker. It's cool. It's, you know, I could do without it. It's there. It's not a big deal to me. I like the image here. Good looking figure. This is the super one. This is the one with all the new articulation, I believe they said. So he's got the new hips. He's got the new ankles. A lot of stuff in this thing. Is it a deluxe? There's always that debate. Is it a deluxe figure? I don't know. I don't know if it is. I grabbed this picture because it had the rifle, and he does look like he can look down the barrel really well. And then I noticed in this picture the rifle's not in it, so I wanted to just point that out. He does have a rifle. Got a vibro sword. It looks like a vibro knife, an extra hand, a trigger hand, jetpack, blaster pistol, and a Grogu that fits on the jetpack. He's also got soft goods. So maybe I'm trying to talk myself into this, but I think probably it is deluxe. And, you know, it's close. It's a stretch. It's close. It's right there, you know. Maybe one or two more things. But it does have the rifle. I don't know why it's not in this picture. It would help people that are like, is that deluxe? Got to throw in a lot of stuff if it's deluxe, right? I have a Black Series figure. I have Black Series. I have a Black Series helmet of Din Djarin. Oh, you do? I've always liked the helmets, but I just don't have room to collect the, like, one-to-one scale type stuff. Mandalorian movie reminds me that Simpsons movie opening line. I can't believe we're paying to see something we got on a TV for free. If you ask me, everybody in this theater is a giant sucker. Yeah, TBC is great. Still collect for it, and I'm happy you're featuring it here. Yeah, bless the missus. Oh, thanks. Yeah, you heard that? Bless you. I didn't want to say anything. I want to yell into the. I probably yelled. I'm sorry about that. That's not a duck. I know she's washing the dishes. The deluxe I passed. I'm satisfied with last year's. Yeah, I was really close on this one, man. I got it. I did pre-order it. I don't know if I can keep doing it though. You know, I like this. So the jetpack and this Grogu, it only really works. You know, the jetpack doesn't work without Grogu on it. I'm probably going to display this one just like they had in the picture. This right here. This is probably holding the rifle in his hand. So I pre-ordered this one. I did. Again, it's, you know, Tech, like you're saying, it's the ultimate. If you have the other one, you really don't need any more because they haven't. This is the same thing. It's this stuff over here that's different. What they threw in on the side. That's not a deluxe pass. Just kidding. Will be fun to see Star Wars on the big screen again. It will be. LOL, you're laughing at because I started screaming into the mic, huh? Sorry about that. Star Wars deluxe figures are kind of a scam, but what can you do? Yeah, they are. So I pre-ordered it the day it went up. Placed on. You can see this is from my email, and then like the next day, they sent me things saying, "Hey, it's going to be here on March 23rd," and then I think I got another one saying the date moved again. So this pre-order, it looks like it's coming up real quick. I didn't get this for any of the other figures. So this one must be here. It must be really close, or it's on a boat. Maybe it needs to be unloaded out of the container. Amazon's already saying, hey, I just ordered it like the day before. So this one looks like it's close by. You know, Tech, you might get that itch if you see this one at the store, you know, and you're like, man, I passed on it, but it's already out. Yeah, maybe I'll get it. You know, I don't know. Maybe you won't. But it looks like it's already here. Or, I mean, this is like less. This is almost, today's the 22nd. It's almost exactly a month away, right? February, March. Yeah. It's just a month away, which is a crazy turnaround time for a pre-order nowadays. So that's a good thing. But I did pre-order it. I'll let you know when I get it. It'll be in one of my haul videos. But yeah, I'm probably going to open them up and display them over here, probably right by the Razor Crest. Because it looks like the Razor Crest is back, or a new version of the Razor Crest, a different version of the Razor Crest, according to the trailers from what I saw. Grogu on the jetpack is cool, but you're right, it doesn't work without it. Magnets would be cool. Yeah. Yeah, it's like if you don't have him on it, it's gonna look kind of funky. Because I think too, it sits over the soft goods, I think. So you can't really hide that piece, I think. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But yeah, you know, I'm definitely gonna display it with him on it. And that will be different than I have with any of the other ones, but this is probably the last one. I think I'm going down the same road you are, Tech. Like I don't know how they could improve this or change it any more that I would need another one. I've already got several. Remember the last one came with the white jetpack from Mando season 3, and then they gave us the other one where he's same thing, right? Where he's riding, or no, he's Mines of Mandalore. Where yeah, there's like two or three of them that they've given us pretty recently. That it is this buck. So yeah, it could be the last one for me. Um, this one's cool, but I didn't pre-order. I'll be on the hunt for it. Paint looks immaculate. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. The paint has been really good with the head sculpt paints have been really good lately. The last one was perfect besides the backpack. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. We've got the Imperial Remnant AT-AT at driver. Um, not necessarily an army builder, but kind of. If you have any AT-ATs like I do, I've got a couple of them. You know that at least you need at least two in the cockpit in the you know, and then when I read my book, I forgot what it's called, that has all the Imperial stuff in it. It says that there's usually two deck officers or two in the back. So you know, theoretically, you could have four of these guys as the crew of your AT-AT, which is what I did with the classic, the Empire ones. So I did pre-order this guy too. Looks pretty good. I think he's probably, you know, he's got the new hips and ankles, so he's superior to the other one. But if you're an original trilogy guy, this isn't going to work for you. But I don't mind. I just want the best figure. I just want the best figure, you know, steering my ship, flying my ship, whatever. So I'm going to replace my Legacy Collection AT-AT drivers with this guy. That's my plan. The Imperial Remnant Snowtrooper is down to $16.99 on Amazon right now for some reason. I didn't know that. Man, I hope they'll match, because I ordered a couple of those too on Amazon. Hopefully they will match the price and drop it, which they usually do. So yeah, he doesn't come with much. I'm guessing his helmet doesn't come off. There's no portrait on there. Just one blaster. Little light on this guy. Little light. But very cool nonetheless. I could see a lot of people passing on this one though because they don't have the AT-AT. Maybe this is a precursor to them re-releasing or doing a new AT-AT. Maybe that's a HasLab coming up. I don't know. Speculating, but I like the figure. I don't know how well it will do though. I don't know how well it's gonna sell. I happen to have two AT-ATs, so I want plenty of these guys. But if you don't have them, one of the AT-ATs, I don't know what you would, you know, necessarily want or need this guy for, or to buy more than one, especially if you're a, you know, opener or closer or opener or mint on card. You know, maybe you get one, keep mint on card. That's it. Can't go wrong riffing on an AT-AT driver, Snowtrooper. Yeah, I guess it won't be long before we get. And maybe the TVC human head sculpts have gotten amazing. Yeah, the Stranger one was so good. It was really good. I was surprised how good it looked. I gotta use it for something though. I don't know. I might get another one of these. These are from Andor. Oh, sorry guys, my light. It's getting dark in here. Oh, I've been army building these guys and just swapping out the heads. And this is a Clone Wars Anakin, and I cut off his ponytail. But I have these. I have a whole bunch of these. I've been building a regular Imperial army So now that I have that head from the stranger, I'll probably buy one more of those, do the head swap, add another guy to the ranks. As a kid, I loved the ATH driver. You can use them to fill out your Imperial ranks even without an ATAT. You could. You could. I put that head on the Kit Bash Joy Toy. It looks awesome. I bet it does. Yeah, it's such a good portrait. Like I could, yeah, it can improve any figure, huh? Whatever you put it on, it's gonna look all of a sudden. It's gonna look real. They did a really good job with that. Whatever they're doing, I don't know anyone else who's really doing it. But they're basing their characters, a lot of them, off real people. Where like the Marvel Legends and the GI Joe stuff, it's like comic book and video games, so cartoon. So yeah, this guy doesn't come with much. I grabbed a couple of them though. And here's the Imperial Remnant Snowtrooper you were just talking about, Jeff. Very cool. We know that this buck is the Snowtrooper buck, which was my Army Builder of the Year last year. Was the Imperial Snowtrooper, just a different helmet, and he comes with this longer blaster. Looks really cool. Looks really cool. I love the card back. Solid card back. See the guy clearly. He's got soft goods. He's gonna sit down. He's gonna go anywhere. Again, he fit in your AT-AT if you got one. Backpack's removable. Comes with that extra blaster, so you can army build this guy and fit them out with different blasters. The only thing's different is the helmet. I like the helmet. Nothing, spectacular, so different or anything, but it's cool. It's cool. I wonder if they'll just do the officer just like they did with the other one, and they'll issue this guy, but with on that officer buck where he has the pistol. That's probably their next wave, or it's again just like the Snowtrooper, an easy, not a repack or easy reuse of the buck. I like it. It's a good figure. It's a good figure. Again, my Army Builder of the Year last year was the Snowtrooper, and this is basically the same thing with a different head and an extra gun. So simple but awesome, yeah. Speaking of Marvel Legends, I can't figure out Channing Tatum's Gambit, Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom. Yeah. And I think that movie is out, or the new Avenger movie will be out in December, so I'm sure there'll be something new. Hopefully, we'll get something at 118, 375 with that stuff, with the new Marvel stuff. That's got to be one of the biggest holes, for us. We don't have any Marvel or DC stuff. Next figure, IG-11. This is the Sheriff Marshall, Navarro Marshall. This figure I passed on. This was one I passed on. I did mention I did grab a little squad of these guys, just a few. No, I didn't army build them like I usually do. I think 9 is usually my number now. I did not get 9 of these guys. I think I got 5. 1 to keep mint on card and 4 to open. I did not get the IG-11 here. It's just something I passed on. It looks like a good figure. I think kind of what I was saying to Tech, I think if I see this one on the peg at the store, I'll probably grab it, but I didn't want to pre-order it. Just didn't want to, again, I can't get everything, and I'm just looking at all my pre-orders, and I'm like, I can't get everything. I got to cut one of these guys out. I got to cut 2 of them out. So this was the one I cut. I didn't get this one, passed on it. I think in a perfect world, I could get 2 of them, and they'd be like my marshals, like my police or something, but I passed on this one. It looks really good. It's a really good buck. I never really liked the hands, but they hold the weapons well. And it looks like he's got a new paint job. I remember the old IGs, man. They were so cumbersome, and now that they've got all these ball joints, they really do pose well and flow. The smoothness of the joints and everything. So it looks like a good figure, but I did pass on this one. I prefer the original IG. When was he rebuilt in the season 3 finale? I think he was. I can't quite remember. I didn't like season 3. I liked the last episode of season 3. but I don't even remember if he was in that one. The battle on Mandalore was really cool, but there was a couple episodes I didn't like. The colors are nice. Yeah, the colors are nice on this one. But I did pass on it. I like the holster. I like the pistol. It'd been nice if he came with another weapon, another rifle. But I'm guessing they're gonna say, oh, we added all these paint apps, which they did. They added more than the last one, and they even painted the the. Oh my gosh, there we go again, man. I hate when I freeze up. The handle of the gun, the blaster, white, for whatever that's worth. But I guess when it's in the holster there, and it's sticking out, it would match the paint that he has here on the chest and the arms. Good figure. Just one I had to pass on. I couldn't do it. Had too many figures, too many pre-orders. Yes, he was, and that's when he was the marshal at the end of the episode. Okay. Oh, when they went back to Navarro, huh? Yeah, I didn't go back and watch season 3 as many times as I did the other 2 seasons. That's for sure. All right, then we had the Imperial Remnant AT-RT. Also comes with a carded Imperial Remnant AT-RT driver. This is in that sort of medium-sized vehicle price point and size. So we're not a huge vehicle. More on the smaller, like the speeder, the Luke Skywalker Tatooine land speeder. I guess probably in the same price point as the creatures have been, like the Blurg and the I forgot the wolf dog. Same, looks like the same size box. So this was one of the things why this was my line of the year last year is, they do have the different sizes and the different price points. It's expensive though, but no other line, is quite trying to hit all those boxes, check all those boxes. I did grab a couple of these to go with my ATs. I think it was a good idea that they carded the figure because there are a lot of people that like to keep their stuff mint on card. You can appease both fans by doing that. If they wouldn't have, those guys would have been mad. They might have not bought this. I think by carding it, you did get those guys to buy it. I'm a little bit of both. I like to keep one mint on card. I like to open the other ones. So this was good for me. Looks like a good vehicle. Looks like they added a lot of paint apps. I could probably go to that. There was a lot of pictures, so I only grabbed a few. But you can see here, it looks like he's got snow on his feet. They showed it in a couple different poses. This one actually shows the snow a little bit better. Looks like it balances pretty well. Unless they're trying to trick us here. It looks like it balances pretty good. But they did have a stand, I think. Oops, I missed it. I didn't grab that one. It did look like it came with a stand for when it's up higher. It probably has a little bit of balance issue. But it's interesting that it could crouch this far and it's not falling over. Hopefully that's not a Photoshop there. Let's see, when the Mando and Grogu were in their new house on the planet at the very end. Yeah, that's the very, very last scene, right? This might be the IG I get. I love IG-88. Oh, cool. Okay, yeah. I mean at their new house. Oh, yeah. On Navarro, right? When they went back. The homestead. But yeah, this looks pretty good. Again, it looks like they're using that same snowtrooper buck, like a shore trooper helmet. That's what it kind of looks like to me, the shore trooper helmet. Not quite sure. But again, in all white. And maybe a new backpack because it looks like it might have a little antenna on the backpack. Oh no, that was antenna on there. It looked like in this picture, it looked like it was coming off his back, but it's actually coming off the walker. So yeah, it looks like the snowtrooper buck. Again, another reuse of the buck. A very good buck, though. A very good figure with a different helmet. So, solid figure, smaller vehicle, expensive. Still expensive, though. Yes, on Navarro, yeah. And then they announced this Trooper Pack. Looks a lot like the Battlestar Galactica box. or the Battlestar Galactica box looks a lot like this box, I should say. Remnant, Imperial Stormtrooper, Army Builders, 4 in a box. I did pass on this one too. I probably have like 30 of the Remnant troopers from Mando season 1. And it's not good as buck as these, because looks like this is the new Stormtrooper buck with the rocker ankles and the hips and stuff. But because I have so many of the other Remnant ones, I couldn't see replacing them, or I had to cut some things out, guys. And so I passed on this 4-pack. But if you didn't have any of those Remnant troopers, or you want an army build, this is a good way to do it. They do have a little bit of paint variation. We got a pauldron for one of them. It looks like one of them has like an over the chest accessory. Not for me. Again, expensive set. I think this was a Hasbro Pulse exclusive, but again, it was one that I passed on. Couldn't do it. Armit decided to squad build this one here, and I got the Mando and Grogu, and I grabbed a couple of these, and I said, I think I'm good. Gonna have to pass on the Remnant troopers, but I think this is this is a great buck, So if you don't have enough stormtroopers, these guys look pretty weathered, pretty dirty. This would be the way to go. So pass for me. Did anybody pick this up? I had to say no. Actual group of fans played Remnant Troopers season 1 of Mando. They were with Moff Gideon. Yeah, and that's the season 1 guys, because I got several of the troop transports. They're right back here, actually, and they're full of those remnants. Not these remnants, but that season 1. I've got like I said, like 30 of them. So I was finding them on clearance. And I just kept buying them, started building an army. And that, at that time, was kind of the newer buck at that time, however many years ago that was. Already like 5 years ago now. But this one I passed. Looks pretty cool. But I just can't get everything. Looks like a couple extra blasters. And there's a better picture of the little variations. Guy's got the little paint job there. He's got the pauldron, and he's got this, and otherwise it's the same, pretty much the same here. Can never have enough stormtroopers though, but maybe I do now. Maybe I do. And then this is the last slide, guys. We made it to the end. Yak Face and a couple other galactic figures, a couple of the sites, this SWTVC guys. I think the Facebook page, they all kind of jumped on this at the same time. It looks like, I don't want to say it was leaked, but this was at the last, the Toy Fair. It was on one of the backdrops that they had, and it looks like we're going to get the Geonosian Picador and Ouray, which would again fall into that creature, that smaller price, smaller, they're leveraging the line. Creatures, small vehicles, big vehicles, dioramas, figures. This would be the first creature of the year, and it looks like we're going to get it soon. Doesn't have a date there, but it looks like, again, they're leveraging the Geonosian warrior that they've already teased. I think this Picador Geonosian, he's the one without wings. He's the one that can't fly, which again, though, is great. It's great, and it stays with their theme. This was the only thing, and they didn't talk about this. This kind of leaked, right? Everything seemed to come from the Mando and the Grogu movie, or from Mando season 2, season 3, like the IG. This was the only thing that seemed to stay in the Battle for Geonosis theme that they're running with this year. So I'm sure there's more things to come. Maybe the next wave after this Mando one is going to go back to Geonosis, and this will be part of that. I don't know. I'm speculating. But the creatures that they've done, the Blurg and I forget the Wolf Dog, were great. They're really really good. So I imagine that this array is going to be just as good. Um, and if they do the Geonosian Warrior, and then we get a couple of these guys, I do have the old arena. This is gonna look awesome. This is gonna look awesome. And if, for you guys that don't know, if you're new here, Attack of the Clones is my favorite movie of all time. So I love this. I want more of this type of stuff. Let's see. I picked them up. Never enough troopers for the Empire. Lord Vader will be pleased. I'm really excited for this. Yeah, me too. Welcome, TVC Trev. Me too. My Black Series figures are Grogu, 2 different Din Djarins, Moff Gideon, Boba Fett, Book of Fett. Oh yeah, that's a nice. Yeah, Ezra. I got Ezra. Yeah, that's a good figure. Seems like we'll get at least 3 Geonosians: Poggle, the wingless one, and presumably the Winged Warrior. Yeah, and that's and then there you go. That's pretty much all we need, right? That's pretty much all we need for Geonosians. Unless they want to go Clone Wars and give us the mother that was hatching all the eggs. That was a crazy episode. That was the second Battle of Geonosis, wasn't it? Or was that the zombie one? There were some really good Clone Wars episodes there. I always wanted the aliens from Camino Clone Facility released in TVC. Yeah, the Taun We and them. Yeah, maybe we'll get them too. Maybe we'll get them too. I know Black Series got them, right? Black Series got Taun We, I think. But yeah, this looks really good. I really want this thing too. I probably would get 2 of them. Like I said, I have the arena. I have the creatures. We've never got this before, as far as I can remember. And again, if we have, it's definitely not TVC. You know, TVC is the cream of the crop. Like I said, the Blurg and the Howler. There it is. I keep saying Wolf Dog. The Howler. Those are fantastic. So I imagine it's going to be just as good, guys. This is going to be just as good. Guessing the price point's probably going to be $60-$70 though. We'll see. Hopefully not, but I imagine it probably will, but you never know. But I'll probably definitely grab a couple. I'll grab a couple. And with that, guys, that is the news that I had. That was the slides. I had 80 something slides there. This is the longest one I've ever done. This is the most slides I've ever had. Thank you if you stuck around. Thank you if you just showed up. Please catch the replay. It was a long one. We talked 118-375 for a long time because that's what I do on my channel. I'm a 118 3.75 inch action figure collector. If you're not subscribed, please consider it. The channel's been growing. I'm happy the channel's been growing, and it's because of you guys, hanging out with me, watching the videos on replay and commenting and liking and and not liking some of them, right? It's okay. You don't have to like everything. But thank you for coming. Correct, never has been made. Okay. Yeah, I didn't think so. Remember the Geonosian from Rebels who had an egg? Yes. Oh, that was on that one too. Yeah, you're right. They showed up on Rebels as well. Yeah. Good night. Yeah, good night, Tech. Thanks for coming. Long show, good chatting. Yeah, it was a long one tonight. I better get out of here. Hopefully I can work on that video. I think the next video is probably going to be a vehicle video. I don't want to spoil it. The vehicle's always hard to do, so I'm not sure how long it's going to take me, but I'm going to try to do that. And keep an eye on the channel. Keep an eye on the channel. Thanks for coming. We'll be back in 2 weeks. I appreciate you guys coming out. I appreciate you guys commenting. Can't do the show without you. There is no show if you don't show up. Love talking to like-minded collectors and starting rumors, assuming a lot. And that's what we do. That's what we do. But thank you guys for coming. If you want to chat, hit me on IG or drop a comment in this video, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. I think I'm going to jump out of here, guys. I got to go. It's late. It's late. We went over 2 hours tonight. It's the longest I've ever gone. But thank you so much for coming.